and we can also be seen on KMI Internet Radio, TV station also. So if you get a chance, check us out on all those Facebook, YouTube, all of it. If you get a chance, just check us out on those stations there. And today we're missing a few people, so we're just gonna go with our host that we have for today. We're gonna start with you, Larry Pearson, all the way from Maryland. You know, how you doing, Larry?
I'm doing great. Waiting for the comeback. KC coming back.
Then we definitely got to go with our legendary Bruce Austin.
Everything's beautiful, brother.
Legend in the house. And our legendary sports commentator here that does the paper for Jerry Green's what is
Sports
it?
page.
Sports page. Nah, yeah, it's a sports page, right?
Oh, they got their newsletter.
Yeah, the newsletter. That's what I was trying to get out. Wouldn't come out right. But everybody should check out that newsletter because I don't know if anyone I like better than that one when it comes to reading stuff. And I'm not into all that reading, but I will read that newsletter. All right, so we're ready for a great show here tonight. And but I had a few things I wanted to throw out there before we really get started. One of the things was this Serena Williams and her sister. We didn't talk about them losing. And, you know, what are they still planning this comeback? What do you guys think? Retirement? Was that a bust? Or are they still in the game? What do you think, Anthony?
Well, it's with Serena, it had been like about 2-3 years when she actually made it official, and I guess she got the bug. She got the bug again, and she didn't play terribly in that first time coming back, but you could see where let's put it this way, there's some shots that say 5-10 years ago she wouldn't have missed like that, and it just happens. To be honest with you, I think sadly they probably are bored, this because all they're doing now, all they really do now is sort of like make public appearances. I think they still own.
But didn't they just have a game? They just had.
They played doubles and they lost.
That's what I was really talking about is the doubles. Singles.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about how much of a duel can they be right now as a double? That's what the question I should have been asking. A double.
Well, they were. You can make the argument that they were one of the better doubles teams of all time. When they were at their peak. But again, look, Father Time, or I guess in this case, Mother Time, is undefeated. There comes a time when you're not going to be the best, and it's no shade on them. It's just it happens. Like I said, I think a little bit of it is that they're used to just being maybe in the public limelight now, and they're just a little bored, probably.
What do you think, Bruce? I mean, you think they could become double champions again, or what?
Nah, and they know better than that. They just having fun, man. They did all they're gonna do. That's on the competitive part. They're just out there having fun. Like Amp said, they probably were bored and said, "Let me get out the house." I think it's been 4 years for Serena.
Yeah,
Venus didn't never stop, But they just having fun. They're not looking to win no more titles. You know what I mean? They smarter than that.
So what do you think, Larry? Would this hurt their career? I mean, they're talking about not winning no more titles, and they're making themselves look bad in my book.
I think fame is just like a drug. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get in the limelight, you get excited, people calling your name, people talking all about you. But that's a hard lesson. People don't get that high no more because you're not on TV no more. Everybody's not talking about you. You come out to expect the same experience, but it's not. It's just like with Michael Jordan finally figured out he didn't have it no more when he played with Washington and embarrassed himself, then he went away. You know what I'm saying? Because until it actually hits you, you're not the same team again, then you can take your place respectably and sit down.
I guess you got it.
Did you see the crowd that came out to see them?
Oh yeah,
It was more people there than all the other matches all together. They say.
exactly. Well, they're
You
always
know what I
look.
mean? That's what it's all about. They
Yeah.
want to see the legends.
Hmm. And the funny thing is, you see this more in boxing. I mean, think of all the Joe Louis came back, Ali came back, Sugar Ray Leonard came back, Tyson came. They all. There's only been a handful of folks where when they walked away, that was it. I've always had a great respect for Marvin Hagler when when he lost to Leonard, in a controversially, he
Yeah.
just said, "I'm done." He went on and basically became like the Steven Seagal of Italy, making action films. But he never, and I'm sure he was approached a bunch of times to come back, but he stood to his game. Like Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, could have played. Barry Sanders was probably at the peak, one of the peaks of his career when he left, but he just said, he was done, and just said, "Hey, I'm done. I'm it. I'm done." And he's never come close to coming back. Jim Brown, same
Like
thing.
Jim Brown was,
Yeah.
Jim Brown wasn't even 30. He just walked away.
Exactly.
But for a lot of people, I guess you're right, Larry. It's just like a drug. I mean, like
Yeah.
cocaine or something. They just can't get off of it. They
You
try
can't.
to quit, but they just can't quit.
Hey, Don. Hey, Don, to let them people that hate to leave Pratt and Whitney.
Oh, yeah. We got some of them too. I hope they ain't listening, Bruce. Hope they ain't listening. Hey, so now I'm going to touch on this Stephen A. thing a little bit, just a little bit, because, to me, I'm starting to get disappointed in Stephen A. myself. I don't like what he's saying. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he's becoming. We all known him as a great sports writer and stuff, and we all thought of him as that way. Now to me, and he stepped out a little bit, it seemed to be fine, but he seemed to be stepping out of his lane a lot. And he's, like I said, I don't like it when you start downing the blacks.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was the women or the guys. I don't like it because he be downing people that's not even in his lane. I mean, at least LeBron James played some basketball, and that was a little up his alley, but he's going after politicians, everybody, and I'm just not with it myself. But I want to get you guys' opinion. Is Stephen A. going to mess around here and really ruin himself, or this publicity going to make him better?
If you look at it, they starting to slowly wean him off First Take. They starting to weed him off. They getting more people in there, and within the next 6 months to a year, you will not hear about Stephen A. again.
Nah, he ain't going nowhere.
Because they weeded him out. Watch the people they have on there now.
He's all over the place. He ain't going nowhere.
Slowly weed him out. Okay, you say that now, but you watch the famous people that left ESPN. Watch.
He's their cash cow. He ain't going nowhere.
They got all kind of cows.
What Stephen A. do is he try to play both sides of the fence, and it's not working for him. You know what I mean? People have been seeing this a long time ago. See, the white folks didn't like him at first because they said he had a big mouth. But then when he jumped on the other side of the fence, they like cool off to him, and the black folks went away from him. So he's trying to play both sides of the fence to basically stay neutral. That's why every time you see the Black Writers Association gave him a thumbs down. See, and he felt bad. But he want to come after them. Oh, y'all want to start something now. But when Trump said he was a punk, basically, he punked out, oh, well, I don't mind him saying that. See, people see that. See, you can't play both sides of the fence. It never worked. You know what I mean? But see, he's ESPN his cash cow now. Is nobody else on ESPN more popular than Stephen A. Smith, regardless how you want to look at it.
Well,
there's nobody else. Who on ESPN is more popular than Stephen A?
He's not even making the most money no more.
Yeah.
Who's making more money than him?
Pat McAfee.
He's not making more.
He makes twice as much as he makes.
Is he making over 100 million?
Yes.
Well, he's making more than. I know they just gave Stephen A 100 million.
300 million.
The thing.
For how many years?
Well, it's not even so much a years. It's visibility. He's on College Game Day. He's going to be on the Monday night, the countdowns or whatever. They're not putting him in they're not putting him in the booth with Aikman and Joe Buck, thank goodness. But the thing is, between his show, which he still owns independently, and he makes a certain percentage off of the network. Let's put it this way: they're already grooming him to be, at the very least, the number 2 guy on that network. And you should always be leery when they're already sort of getting your replacement ready.
Yes.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
be leery. Be leery.
I wouldn't say that. The difference with Pat McAfee is he's more on par with college football and all of that, where Stephen A's not. So
but he got the skin, everything. He's gonna take it.
That always matters. But what I'm saying is, he may have more duties than Stephen A, but he's definitely not more popular than Stephen A.
Yes.
When the last time you heard somebody mention Pat McAfee's name?
He's becoming bigger and bigger.
He ain't becoming bigger and bigger. He's becoming more popular with the network because he do college football. He's into wrestling. He's into all of that stuff. He's more. See, Stephen A. is you can see when football season starts. Stephen A. basically backs up and let them other guys that played basically handle the show. See, but believe me, Stephen A. is a cash cow. When ESPN name pop up, you see Stephen A. You don't see Pat McAfee.
We're gonna talk about this again. You'll see. We'll play this thing back for you, and you'll see when he's gone.
The other thing also, because to piggyback on what Don said, stay in your lane. I mean,
yep.
The thing is, when he was at the Philly Inquirer, he was clearly the best NBA beat writer. There was nobody better. When you read his when he used to do his Sunday columns, you had all sorts of great information there, what have you. What's happened to him is what happens to a lot of folks. In my opinion, you go from being a journalist to becoming a celebrity or personality. And the thing is, I respect him more for him being a journalist than being a personality, because and what's interesting is that they're trying to say now that they don't want to have, they're trying to low key all the like opinionated shows like First Take and all this other stuff, but ESPN sort of talks out of both sides of its butt, because that's how, other than, I mean, I know for myself, I only watch ESPN for live sports. I don't watch Sports Center anymore. I don't watch any of NBA Live or all the pre and post game stuff. I just watch the games. And there still are a lot of people that they watch McAfee's show. They'll watch First Take, Pardon the Interruption, and all those. And that's what made that made a lot of money for ESPN and a lot of exposure. But now, because of the internet, because of our show here, there's more shows out there like that. And to be quite honest, they do it better, because it's not we get into it at times, whatever, but we all know it's just fun, Ben, or whatever. When to me, when it's on ESPN that way, it just gets old, because we're used to seeing folks yelling and screaming at each other on the news channels, but now it's becoming like that in sports, and it just, to me, it just takes a lot away from it.
Yeah, but Amp, a lot of people said the same thing you just said about when he was a Philadelphia beat writer.
Yeah,
a lot of people said back then when he was first coming up, and once he got up a few steps, he helped a lot of people. He said they helped a lot of black journalists get to where they're at now. But once, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, somebody mentioned him about running for president. And when they did that, something snapped, and he went into a different mode. You know what I mean? And see, the best way is to get MAGA white folks on your side is to say something against somebody that's black.
Exactly.
And they like you right away. That'll make you popular. And that's what he did. He jumped on Jasmine Crockett right away, but it didn't work out good for him. You know what I mean? So when Serena Williams, when he was talking about Serena and her husband came on the show, he didn't even come on the show. He laid back and was all cool about it. See, but when it's somebody of color, he goes off, get loud and everything because he know he can get away with that. But he know the tone he's supposed to use when he talking about the other folks, and that's what I mean when he try to play both sides, but it's not working out for him. You know.
Yeah. He needs to. Politics and sports, by contrary to popular demand, they don't mix. So I mean, they do mix at certain times, but if you want to try to have a career in both of them, just be prepared to know that you to me you're fighting a losing battle when you're trying to do that. That's just my opinion.
All right, so time will tell. I sort of agree with Larry, though. I think he's hurting himself. I think his career is slowly sliding backwards, but we'll see, Bruce. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, Larry. So I'll go ahead on and let you talk some football now.
I want to start with the Cincinnati Bengals. Burrows then came out and told the team and said, "We either win now or he's tired of waiting on next year." That means if they don't get together and get the people they need in place, they need to go a different direction. Now, for him being hurt 3 of the past 4 years, do you think he got that right to make that claim, or you think he telling the coach, the owner, if the coach don't get together, we need to go a new direction? Start with you, Anthony. What you think?
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll piggyback what you were saying more. We have yet to see this guy play a full season. Even the Super Bowl year, he missed a lot of time. I can understand where he's coming from in that instance because that again, it seems like that Super Bowl was like 100 million years ago. Since then, but when you're pointing one finger, 3 of them point back to you, and those 3 pointing back to him are those 3 years that he didn't play a full season. So if he wants to play that power move, it's just as important for him because again, we haven't got a 17 game season out of this guy, and he's supposedly, if you listen to the alleged experts, he's supposed to be one of the elite quarterbacks. He's been living off of that one Super Bowl for a while, but I think he's going to have to put up and shut up a little bit too, not just put it all on the Bengals' back.
Okay, Bruce.
Yeah, I agree with everything Adam said. And we got to get at least 3/4 of a season out of him to put them in some kind of position where they could win or prove to people that it's only the defense that's holding them back. Because that's been their voice the last couple of years. It's been the defense, weak defense. So he got to come back and play at least a full year, though. You know what I mean? Before he can start putting the blame on somebody else. Because he's supposed to be the leader.
Personally, I was just shocked at the fact that he came out and made those statements like, it ain't him.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He trying not to take any responsibility in it.
Yeah.
It ain't me. Y'all better get it together, And like we all agree that he got to prove himself this year. I would think that he would have played and proved himself before he came out with those kind of statements. Now that he made that statement, I expect him to really play some ball. Because if he don't really play, it's going to show whether it's him or the defense. We'll know by the end of the season.
You're right.
Yeah.
One thing I totally disagree because Cincinnati Bengals ain't never fired a coach as far as I could ever remember. They let stuff roll. The last time they fired a coach, I think the coach retired before they fired him. When the last time they fired a coach and made a change?
Yeah. It's look, they have been. It's obvious they've been one of the worst organizations in sports. I think we can all say that they've been struggling or what have you. But that all that being said, Burrow has Burrow got him to a Super Bowl. He's been in some instances but again when he's been healthy, he's shown that he can play. But again, we've only seen maybe, I'll be kind and say 60% of what we've seen from him so far. You gotta, you part of being the best in the game is showing up every day, and he doesn't show up all the time. And that, you can blame it on offensive line or what have you, but a lot of it is just showing up. And as much as he wants to sell wolf tickets on the Bengals, he's got a few he's got to deal with as well. You still gotta show up, Joe.
He might have more pressure on him now by making that statement.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, availability, that's what it's about.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean, he don't even it'd be hard to put it on the coaches when the coaches depend on the team to make them look good. And if he not playing, can't blame it on the coach. Look, man, I need you on the field. You're supposed to be one of the best, top 3, top 5, what they saying. We need you on the field. Can't turn you into Anthony Davis and they're gonna name you street clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he got the pressure on him now. He should have never made that statement.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got a question for you. CJ Stroud used to be one of the best upcoming passers in the NFL. Now, everybody talking about either he prove himself or he don't get that big contract. Yeah, and the thing is, they had a great team last year, and near the end of the season, he disappeared. In the playoffs, he threw 5 interceptions. Do you think that's fair to come down on CJ Stroud that hard, Bruce?
Now, let me ask something. This is going into his 4th year, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, and the problem with CJ is he only had one good year. That was his rookie year. They had one of the top defenses in the league, and he haven't done anything since his rookie year. The last 2 years, he did the same thing coming up to playoffs, throwing all them interceptions. They right. This year he got to prove himself to get him back at that level he was in his rookie year. So I blame him.
Wow. Okay, Anthony.
He's got it. There is a responsibility factor. It's sort of going through what Jalen Daniels went through in a sense. Maybe not with so much with the injuries, but the thing with him is his players regress. There's no way around it. His players taking a step back. The defense did carry them the last 2.5 seasons. Especially last year. They probably don't make the playoffs last year if not for that great defense. But if there's ever, put it this way, if there's ever a time to prove himself, it's now. But I'll give CJ credit. He at least has kept his mouth shut and hasn't, called the team out in a sense. Right. He's, he at least recognizes the fact that, hey, it's on me, and he's willing to do it. I think he'll bounce back. Last year probably was sort of what his second year should have been, where he bottomed out. But I think he'll be okay. I don't know if he'll ever get back to that rookie year because in a sense, he caught everybody off guard, and now everybody has now everybody's got his style down now. But I think he'll bounce back. I think the guy that threw the 5 interceptions, I think that guy is gone. I think CJ will come back to be a very decent quarterback, and I think he'll wind up getting his I think he'll get his money. They may have to. He may not get top dollar, but he ain't gonna be starving. Let's put it that way.
I'll just pass on that one. Go to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, Vita Vea for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Who?
He got paid. He got a 30. Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the best in the business. He got paid. He got paid his money, everything he wanted, and Baker got nothing. Do you think that was a great thing for the Tampa Bay to step up like that and play Vita Vea and to give Baker Mayfield not a look?
Yeah, but they know what Mayfield can do. But see, a man on defense like that, you need him. Baker Mayfield fall right in the category where he's expendable. He can be replaced. But a good defensive man like that, you got to take care of him. You know what I mean? You don't want to turn it into like a Michael Parsons thing like with Dallas. You know what I mean? You got to pay them the top guys on defense. If you plan to keep them, you got to pay them.
Wow.
See, I think it's not the fact that they're not taking care of Mayfield. I think he run his mouth talking about what's not acceptable for him. You know what I mean? That could be the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Baker talks a better game than he plays one. I think. I mean, he put up some good numbers a couple years ago. You know, I think like almost 40 touchdowns or what have you. But he wants to be paid like elite money. I don't see that. You know, you have a defensive-minded coach with Bowles, so yeah, they're going to take care of the defense. They're going to take care of the defense, and in that division where they literally beat up on each other, if they're able to at least put together some decent offense, they just missed the playoffs last year by a game, losing out to Carolina, but you got to give the defensive guys their money, especially in a division like that where having a strong defense can be the difference in either winning the division or staying home.
Well, I think Bruce hit the nail on the head. They don't want to make the same mistake Dallas made. So you got to pay the man, because if they don't pay him right now, things could get ugly.
Bruce ain't said nothing like that.
and Baker sure ain't the man to bring them out of it. If he was, they wouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna sue you, Don.
I'm gonna go back a couple years. Now Stroud and Bryce Young came out at the same time. Everybody debated that. After the first year, they said getting Bryce Young was a bad move his first year. They said bad move. He is on his way out the door. Now it looks like the roles have turned.
Yep.
Do you think that is true, or what do you feel about that? If you had to go back to that draft, you think they got drafted in the right order, Anthony?
I'm a Carolina fan, so I like Bryce. I'm not gonna lie. After that first year, you were a little like, did they get the right guy? But I think what's good now is that you have a guy they have a coach now that played more into his strengths, and I'll use the game against the Rams. He went back and forth with Stafford, and they only lost because the Rams got the ball last. So they showed last year that if you you give him a few weapons, that he can do some things. They still need a defense. Their defense leaves a lot to be desired. But no, I think Bryce has earned the fact of being the number one overall pick. But Stroud's not terrible now. I know he's coming off of having a bad season, but yeah, if I had to do it over again, I'd draft Bryce again, number one.
But my thing is this about Bryce. I watched when he played and I watched when he didn't play. They are a heck of a lot better with him in the lineup. And I thought he wasn't that great, but they are a lot better with him in the lineup.
Hey, 2 words: Andy Dalton. That's all you need to know. That's all. That's all you. That's all you need to know. I mean, Dalton. Dalton. I think is he still with? He's still with. Who's he backing up now? I believe he's with the.
He might pop up anywhere. Al.
Yeah. I think I want to say he's with Philly, but I'm not
You know
sure.
what I mean?
But yeah, it's the thing again. The thing now is that he has a coach that plays to his strength instead of trying to force him into their offense. They play to what he can do. They have him rolling out, and they McMillan was a great rookie for them last year as a wide receiver, and they've got a little bit of a run again. If they can just do something on that defense, they'll be it's probably I don't know about them making a long playoff run because the NFC is really top heavy. I don't know if they'll be able to jump into that elite in the NFC quite yet, but they're at the very least I think they'll contend for the division title at the very least.
Yeah, I like the way they finished off last season, and if they could pick up early in the season instead of they start out a little slow, that they were like playing catch up.
Yeah.
But this is one of them cases where it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. I'm talking like with the draft, because like I said, CJ, he was the man, and like I said, they get ready to get rid of Bryce. But now Bryce is the man. and CJ is hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. That's how life changes.
So this is another case where CJ got to prove himself this year. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, he declined a lot. I ain't talking about a little bit. I'm talking about a lot. Yeah. When you go five interceptions, you know what I mean, in back-to-back years, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In them very important games, he just fell apart. You know what I mean? But I think what happened with CJ is he jumped out there in the world as a celebrity too soon, hanging out with Amber Rose and them. When I saw that, I knew it was a downfall. You know what I mean? That crowd ain't never helped nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I think he got out there too quick as a celebrity and not taking his game serious. You know, he had too much success in that rookie year. You know what I mean? Now he's threatened a little bit. This year will prove a lot if he's serious, or is he gonna be a dud?
Yeah, well, I have to agree with Bruce and Anthony on this. I mean, ain't much more to be said. I mean, CJ came out strong, and now he's not that strong. I mean, I liked the Carolina Panthers this year. They played very good ball, but I don't know them individually to say who should have came out. I didn't even follow them guys in college, so and they used to me saying who should have came and who shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think the order gonna matter that much because of what we see so far. You know, the back and forth so far, but I think they both still young, and they still got a chance to make their footprint stick. You know what I mean? So they're not flops yet, but CJ don't want to have another year like that. You know.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Rams. I'm not the Rams, but the San Francisco 49ers for a minute. The 49ers have been better than I thought over the past 7 years. You know, they've almost been in the Super Bowl. They wasn't Super Bowl twice. They got beat both times by Kansas City. But they have been battling, and they just can't get over the hump. Whether because of injuries or it's because of just bad luck. Donald, what's been going wrong with your San Francisco 49ers? Because they had the teams to get it done.
Well, actually, bad luck and injuries seem to fall in right there together.
Yep.
You know, you need both of those to win. You need people healthy, and you need some good luck. You need both of them. If both of them is going against you, I mean, for the last couple of years, they surprised me. I never expected them to actually come out of the gutter, and each time they did.
Yeah.
You know, because every time I turned around, somebody was hurt. I mean, during the season, they seem to lose. And already, this season hasn't started, and they're already getting people hurt.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just saying, bad luck. You saying bad luck or injury? Bad luck or injury just fall right in one pile and fall right on the 49ers. But I'm going to see what they're going to do, because every year, you know they're not going to win a championship. But every year they play a little better and go a little further than I expected them to.
Yeah. They when I look at how they got the 2 Super Bowls, I don't know how they made it, but you know, they stumbled in there. They just couldn't get it done. But they did a lot better than I thought they were able to do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
they
they're
got
one of the teams you wasn't counting on getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
right.
Think about the fact that they got to those last 2 Super Bowls. They got there with 2 different quarterbacks. They got there with Garoppolo,
Yeah.
and then they get there with Purdy. So
Right.
it says something. It says something about their system. But yeah, it seems last year, they lost Warner. What was it? Just before the season started, and they still and they made the playoffs. Even when Purdy went down, Mac Jones actually played pretty well for them at quarterback, and then they go into Philly and win a playoff game, but then they get up to Seattle, and then everything broke. But and even now, I mean, even the head coach is hurt. That's a it's just
It don't get no worse than that, do it?
I know. Yeah, they're just now Warren. I guess I caught a little bit of their game the other night. I guess they're playing Warner a little bit more so he can get his legs back. But that division, last year all 3, Seattle, San Fran, and the Rams made it. I don't know if you're going to get all 3 this year. If you go by law averages, the Niners look like they may be the odd man out, strictly because of the way the NFC is. But I won't kiss them away quite yet, because they keep overcoming all them odds. You got to give them their being resilient. You got to give it to them for being resilient, especially with all the injuries and all the other stuff, and getting Ayuk back now. I mean, getting Samuels back now. I think that's definitely going to be a help as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, man, we always talk about the coaching staff the Rams got. But, man, I tell you something, man, the 49ers got a great organization. The injuries with Christian McCaffrey and all of them, they got rid of Debo and a couple more guys. And
They got
like
Debo back, too.
Yeah, they just got him back, but this year, But the last few years, like y'all was saying, man, we had counted them out.
Yeah.
We had counted them out completely. They got rid of everybody hurt. And when it came close to playoff time, they were right there.
Right there.
You know what I mean? I've said, man, they got to, and I want to give Purdy a little more credit than what people have been giving him too, because he's been holding it steady for the 49ers.
Yeah.
But I mean, he been with the injuries and different lineup, plugging people in, receivers, running back, linemen, everything. And he's been holding that team steady. So I said they got a great organization, man, and I won't count them out anymore.
Yeah.
So you think that quarterback should be getting anywhere from $60 million a year?
Who that, Purdy?
Yeah.
I mean, the Super Bowls he went to.
One?
Just the one.
And the guy that's making more money than him haven't been to any.
I mean, that's a low end. $50 million might be at I think for starting quarterbacks, they're making above $50 million.
Yeah, with the team that he's been playing with, I think he should be right up there with the big boys, getting that money. Because like you said, with the injuries and changing up everything, man, people were saying look how they talked about Purdy. Oh, he's a game manager, all this different stuff. And the man's been steady right there with everybody else that they're looking to be in the Final Four or whatever they call it. Purdy's been right there every
But
year.
only one Super Bowl, and he had a great team. But
Yeah, but
consistency, we need consistency.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm about to say, Bruce. They don't want to pay him that big money because they don't know if he's gonna stay healthy enough or not.
yeah, but how many?
They
How many?
always look at that too. Now, a healthy Purdy, yes, he deserved the money.
Yeah, but he been doing. I mean, he had a few injuries, but he been on the. Basically, he been doing pretty good.
He been
I mean,
hurt
look
just
at the
about
guy-
every year. Every year.
He
Look at
does
a guy
pretty
like
good, but
Josh
we don't
Allen.
know Look
Look how
going
high
to
up.
him. Oh,
Y'all
go
talk
ahead.
about he been to one Super Bowl. Look at a guy like Josh Allen. They got him on a pedestal. He ain't never been to none.
He
know
been
what
to
I
three
mean?
maybes.
Yeah, maybe he'll get there in the future.
I'm saying Purdy deserved the money in a way, but even this year, I'm not sure he's gonna stay healthy now.
Yeah,
That's
but
one
see-
thing. If you're an owner, you got to look at. Is he gonna stay healthy enough? To earn this money, because if he don't, at least you got enough money to give another quarterback.
Yeah, but you gotta worry about that with all your quarterbacks now. I mean, even the great Mahomes, he haven't been that healthy last
Oh,
couple of
come
years.
on. You can't. Oh, Mahomes is
I'm
healthier
not-
than most
I'm not-
quarterbacks
I'm
in
not
the NFL.
comparing-
You
I'm
can't
not
compare that
comparing-
to Mahomes.
Listen, I'm not comparing talent. I'm just saying with injuries.
Yeah,
Mahomes' health.
but
How many
Bruce, the
games he
difference
missed?
is those guys are already getting paid.
That's what I'm
He's
saying.
not.
This guy.
See, they was healthy when they got that money, and then
Yeah,
they
but I'm
got hurt.
saying
Makes a
they
difference.
got guys that's getting paid that hasn't made it as far as Purdy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only thing I said about Mahomes is injuries. I'm not saying that Purdy is right there with him.
How
or
many
nothing like
times
that.
was Mahomes injured? Can you count? How many?
No, but I'm saying sure he's been hurt. Sure he's been
1
hurt.
year. 1 year
Yeah,
that
but
he been out.
Yeah, but I'm saying different injuries helped him out of games. I'm not saying for the whole season. He's had injuries. Last year wasn't the first time he had injuries.
He had injuries and went to the Super Bowl and won.
Look what happened. What happened when he was out? When it what was it? Ankle? His knee was hurt.
He won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, that year he won.
I'm saying.
Came back and
I'm
played like
saying.
his knee wasn't even hurting.
I'm not saying he didn't never make it back. I'm saying he's had injuries.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. He haven't been healthy.
He might have missed a
all through that-
game or a half.
Even whether he won Super Bowls or not that year, he haven't been healthy his whole career.
Okay.
He's had problems with injuries too. It just wasn't as severe as other quarterbacks.
True.
But he's had some good injuries himself.
Okay, next question, Larry.
Yeah.
My next question, I want to go to the Detroit Lions. And is their quarterback a thing of the past? Because Goff has been a great quarterback as long as he had extra protection. Without protection, Goff becomes one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. What do you think, Anthony?
Well, he's got the weapons, between the running backs and Saint Brown is probably one of the more underrated receivers. The thing with them, again, we were talking about injuries. That's been the thing with them as well, the injuries, and I'm not so sure if that Super Bowl window hasn't fallen off for them, because again, it's when they got within the game of the Super Bowl, it seems like it was like so long ago, and now now that division's gotten better now, because you see what Caleb Williams is doing in Chicago. I know Murray is still sort of a question mark for Minnesota, but the thing with them, they'll put it this way: he'll be as good as his line is, and that's been the biggest source of the injuries for them, because he's had to run for his life a lot over the past year or so. But if they can show up the line, they've got the offensive weapons. It's just a matter again of them being healthy for 60-40% of the time, because right now they're a question mark. I'm not sure. I don't really know how to figure out, are they going to be a contender or are they just going to be struggling again?
Can you blame injuries every year?
For football, yeah, especially now since it's especially now because the season's a grind. It's a grind. I mean, if you think, let's put it this way, a year ago at this time, were we even thinking about Seattle being not even in the playoffs, but in the Super Bowl?
After Dallas gave me a top player, they just hopped right up there.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's especially in the NFL now. It's a grind. It's a grind because it's 18 weeks, and because of the nature of the game and everything, yeah, injuries. Is it the only factor? No, but you have to. It has to be factored in. And when you've had multiple injuries, I mean, yeah, at some point you do have to look at the team and say, what are you guys doing? Are you training these guys correctly or what have you? Yes, that's definitely a factor. But when it affects what you're doing, to be honest with you, they may be the only people in the world that actually miss Aaron Glenn, especially on the defensive side, because when you lose a coordinator like that, you lose a lot. They lost their offensive coordinator and they lost their defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And we know Crazy Man Campbell loves to go for it on fourth down, on second down. So
he go for it on fifth down.
Yeah, if he could. But yeah, they're just I don't get a feel at all for what Detroit is. If everything works as is, they can be a playoff contender. But again, NFC is top heavy. Who do you knock out for them to get in?
Yeah, but if you were to go back,
let Bruce get a little bit. Let Bruce get a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but I wouldn't blame it on Goff, because if you look back 3 years, nobody in the league was hit harder with injuries than Detroit. There's no way I blame that on Goff. Even after they got hit with all them injuries, look how many of their top players left the team. You know what I mean? And they never recovered. And then Glenn left. He was the mastermind for them, it seemed like, because they never recovered. But Detroit is another team, like you said, like Cincinnati, a couple more. They got a lot to prove this year. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of teams that's in that boat where they got a lot to prove this year. You know what I mean? Even Washington, same thing. They got hit with injuries. See, guys like C.J. Stroud and Washington quarterback, sometimes it's not good to have that kind of success so early in your career, because people don't never want to see you go backwards. You know what I mean? And both of them had great success in their rookie years. And injuries or whatever, they haven't been the same. So this year it's a few teams that got to, they really got to prove themselves again. Get back on the map.
As far as I'm concerned, Detroit wasn't no close. They had their opportunity. When they lost the two coaches, when they lost the offensive and defensive coach, to me it was all over then. You know, that and the injuries. The injuries started first.
Yep.
But now, to me, they got right there at the door. They was knocking right on the door, and them injuries knocked them right out. They never bounced back from that. I don't see them bounce back this year. Maybe somewhere down the road they can put it together. But no, we won't see them bounce back this year.
Do you think hiring that coach was a great idea? If you were to go back and turn the clocks back, hiring that coach with decisions he made, doing the decisions he made that everybody thought was so crazy, and for them to fall so hard.
It would have worked great if he had them same players, Jalen Hurts and those guys, when they were going for those yards. He had a big team like that. It would have worked just fine. It wouldn't be having this conversation. He had the wrong team to keep going for those yards. That's what happened.
I'll say this one thing: they play for him. and that's a blessing and a curse because they play, they play hard. I think the fact that he is a former player, it helps a lot too. But let's put it this way: I think if they don't make the playoffs this year, I think he's out. I think he's out of a job because it's been like about 5-6 years now, and the NFL stands for not for long, and they even though they got even though they're not that far removed from when they were sort of an also-ran, they've had a little taste of success now, and they want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think he get a little carried away, man.
Oh,
with them fourth downs, man.
Yeah.
But see, you can do it with the right team. He just don't have the right team.
Yeah.
He don't have what he needs to actually get the job done.
But sometimes you just got to say it ain't worth it.
Big front line, a big, huge front line up there, and just get that fourth down, that yard. It's not a bad idea if you got the big line.
But Don, this guy be going 4th and 13
in his own territory.
We wouldn't mind if it was 1 or 2 yards. This guy could be on his own 30, man, and they go 4th and 13.
He was shocking the world. He was shocking the world when he was doing that mess.
Put it this way: if they ever make another movie about a compulsive gambler, I know who I want to see fill the role.
I guess that's a little too much.
Yeah,
man.
I could take a few yards, but 4 and 13.
Yeah. And on your own territory too. It's like, come on now. There's being confident in your team, and then there's just. I think even some of the players look back and say, "He's going for it again."
Had too much Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be history after this year because I can't see him turning over a new leaf right now.
He's probably going He's probably going on 4th down now. There ain't even no game being played. That's the crazy part about it.
Hey, he just like that coach was for the 49ers. He said you can't play for me. He told what's name used to be a linebacker.
Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
Mike Singletary. Yeah.
He kicking people off the field. You can't play for me. Mike Singletary lost in that game.
Yeah.
They told him you can go every time.
Larry, let's bring a little bit of this college stuff in there about
about overpaying these people to play.
Yeah.
And in college right now, you can get over $10 million to be a quarterback or any position you want. They paying to the highest player. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter, what position you are. Do you think it's right for these players just to go to the highest bidder and get as much money as possible?
It's always been like that.
You think that's a good move?
It's always been like that.
Yeah, but it's been under the table though.
Right. That's why it make it fair now. That's why you don't see teams like Alabama, Georgia, and all them, Ohio State. They dominated the top 5 because they were paying under the table. It wasn't no coincidence they was getting the top players every year. You know what I mean? But my thing is, when they made gambling legal, all the rules changed. Now they got guys that was in NFL camps that didn't make it. Now they coming back to playing college. That should never be allowed. You know what I mean?
That was a new rule that was just passed that they can come back, right?
Right.
Yeah, if things don't work out, I'll say this. It's interesting that Indiana came from out of nowhere to win.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden people have a problem with folks getting paid. Now when Bama and Notre Dame and Ohio State were winning, that's all fine and dandy. But let somebody come
if you look at that roster, everybody in the roster was paid big money.
And that's why I don't have no problem with it. That's exactly why I don't have no problem.
You know what? And the reason why I don't have a problem with it is that, again, for these kids to make a little bit of money. Remember, Texas A&M is still paying Jimbo Elliott $76 million.
But hold it. Let me get to the main part of the subject, though. They added on a 5th year. That's what I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, well, see,
that's what it is.
We
That's what
already
it is.
talked about the money, but that 5th year ain't always been there, has it?
No.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
really has.
you didn't play 4 years.
A lot of it has to do with a lot of it also had to do with COVID too.
Yeah.
Because there's still, not that there's still players that are eligible after COVID or what have you, but they wanted to relax it a little bit. Because see, the transfer portal has always been there. To be honest, a lot of the HBCUs have been using the transfer portal for years, and that's been able to help them. Now you got, for lack of a better word, now the white schools are using it more, and it's helping them. This new thing that they've come up with now, where guys can attend, like if they don't make it through till mini camp, that they can go back, but it's not going to be that much of a help because you've already seen a lot of the schools say, "Hey, we're all set." The first games actually start a week from tonight. There's actually going to be low division games that'll be starting on the 28th. So it's going to be tough for them to add to their roster because they're pretty much their rosters are pretty much set now. Will it help them maybe a year from now? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much of an impact it's going to make this year, but I go back to what Bruce said a lot as well. And this is on both the college and the pros. Once you open up that glass ceiling and you make betting legalized in both college and the pros, be careful what you wish for, because if you think that that kid that was with, I guess, I forget his name, but if you think that kid is that's the only one that's doing stuff like that, you're not paying attention.
You're right.
Yeah, but they got a boatload now since they just passed this rule. See, and what they're saying now is you got top young recruits that committed to these schools because the stars left. Now, since they passed this rule, like Don was said, with the 5th year, now these guys say, "Look, man, my rookie contract I can't make but say $11 million for 3 years, but I can go back to school. I'm still the top lineman, and I can get $8 million a year, $10 million."
There used to be a running joke when Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush was still at USC, is that if they leave, they're gonna be taking a pay cut going to the NFL. And this was before everything became legal, where they were getting money where they were making money. But end of the day, it's leveled the playing field, because now Indiana can compete with Ohio State and Michigan. Ole Miss can compete with Bama and even Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt football has been like an afterthought for years.
Forever.
But now Vanderbilt's been to bowl games a couple of times now. They beat Alabama. So it's when you're the Notre Dames and the Michigans of the world, you used to having everybody come your way. Now you got to fight a little bit harder. They don't want to have to fight any harder now, especially like Notre Dame, because Notre Dame thinks it's a birthright for them to be in the playoff every year.
Now, let me say
this right. That's why the Alabama coach quit, because he knew that his edge was gone.
There you go.
You know what I mean? He tried to be slick. Oh, I don't like that. No, you had the edge over everybody else. Now it's a level playing field. Now you don't want to compete the right way.
Players got too much. They got too much rights. They paying you $11 million. You can't tell them what to do. They get paid more than the coach.
One of the reasons why Saban couldn't hang in the NFL is because them guys was making more money than him, and they ain't gonna listen to him.
Yeah,
right. He could bully those kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But see, what I want to understand is this. Right now, those guys are grandfathered in. So in other words, you missed that. You only did the 4. You missed that 5th. You can go back now and get the money. Now that they can go back and get the money. Now after that, will they have to do the straight 5 years, or will they be able to come out in 4 and try to get a contract?
Oh, once you, I think,
contract don't
yeah,
work,
I think once you do the 5th year, that's it.
You're done. You're done.
Yeah,
you got to
it.
graduate. You got to leave.
So my point is, let's say I start now. I'm not grandfathered and nothing.
Okay.
I just
No, still
I'm
4.
just a freshman, and I can't do 5.
No.
It's a special exam.
You only can play 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's just those guys that missed out.
If you get hurt or get redshirted a year.
Yeah, but I don't know, Don. I don't know about that because this new rule change might be giving them everybody that option.
Well, that's what I'm
back
trying
for
to
that
find
5th
out.
year.
Is that rule change giving everybody the option, or just certain ones that's already was just grandfathered in and that's it?
No, Don, because the reason is not that, because anytime you had an injury or something, you always had the option.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They call it being red-shirted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You give up that year and you come back for the 5th year.
Or you don't have to be hurt, and they can sit you and redshirt you.
Right,
exactly.
But this is different here. Like you said, they might have that option right off the top to go 5 years. You know what I mean? That's why so many that say that was in the camp, the NFL camps, that see that they on the edge of getting cut or whatever, they're going back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a
It
bad
wasn't no
idea.
injury. It wasn't no injury or nothing else involved. They just made it eligible for them to go back.
But then this came about because of COVID, right?
Yeah, most of
think
these,
so.
yeah, most of these
So
kids.
that means most of these guys lost a year.
A year. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure about that. I think COVID was the COVID rule was already implemented.
Well, the COVID rule
Anybody
shut
that set
everybody
out-
down is my point. It shut
Yeah,
everybody
but
down.
everybody that set out during COVID always
That's
had
over.
that option. They could come back for that year. That's always been in place.
I
This
don't
is
know
something
about
different.
that, because why worry about making this 5th year if that was the case?
No, like I said, this is something different. That's why I'm saying I think they implemented this so that all the players now can have an option if they want to play that 5th year. Because the COVID rule was already. It's just like take Paige, right? In women's basketball. She could have came out, but she was injured. And a couple more they got set down because of the COVID rule. And they all was eligible for a 5th year. So that rule was already there.
Yeah.
This is something different. You know, we got to get a little more. We got to get a little more.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get an understanding. That's why I brought it up.
And with the different sports, it's different. One can see, like Bruce was saying, Paige Becker's basically, she could have gotten, because of the injury and because of COVID, she could have done one more year at UConn, but she just said, no, I'm done. I've been here
a year. I'm playing a year.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Because see, remember, we're old enough to remember when freshmen didn't play at all. Right. So back then you always were given 4 years to play 3. Now what they've basically done is, okay, we'll give you 5 to do your 4. Right. And I guess you almost use that 5th year. You sort of use that as like a floater. So like if you go to camp and you see you're gonna be the first guy cut before they even start practice, you figure, well, let me try and see if I can use my 1 year eligibility. I mean, it's a slippery slope because it's more about timing now, because I saw that the Notre Dame coach has already said, hey, we're good, we're full, we're not, we can't.
But one question: if they draft you one time and you go to the draft again, do they have that right on you once you re-enter the draft?
I don't think so.
No, because perfect examples. Bo Jackson. Remember, Bo was drafted number 1 overall by the Bucks, and he told them from day one, "I'm not playing for y'all." And then that's when he went to go play for the Royals.
But he sat out a year though.
He sat out a year, but he
Yeah.
came eligible for the draft again, and that's when the Raiders.
Right, but he's
remember, the
after
Raiders,
sitting out a year though.
well, but he voluntarily sat out the year. So he didn't sign it. So once you don't, the minute you put pen to paper, all bets are off.
Yeah,
literally.
you're not.
Yeah, until you actually sign your
professional
contract.
now.
Exactly,
Okay.
and
You know,
that's
you're
what made
considered
him. That's what
professional.
made him eligible. So the Raiders drafted him in the 7th round, a year later. And see, what people forget is, the reason why he hated the Bucks was because when he was playing baseball at Auburn, the owner for the Bucks brought him in to visit Tampa before they officially said that they were going to draft him. The NCAA caught that, and then they suspended him. They suspended him for life, baseball wise, and he never forgave the Bucks for doing that because he still hadn't made up his mind as to whether he didn't want to play for the Bucks anyway. But when they did that and they invited him, and then he lost his eligibility as a baseball player, he said, "No, I'll never play for you guys ever again." And he was true to his word.
All right, before we close out here, Jerry put this up here, and I'm sure this one's for Bruce. You know, we got to give an answer on this one here. I'm sure this one's for Bruce.
Here we go.
What if Charles Barkley won a championship? Would he be a top 15 player, Bruce?
No. Hey, listen.
What if he won, Bruce?
Yeah, but listen to this. It's hard. You know how many great players came through the league to say that he would be top 15?
Well, you had him as the top number one. Well, forget great players. What about forward? You had him as the best small forward ever. So
Power forward.
power forward. So
He don't need no championship. He's still the best power forward to me.
Come on.
That's just my opinion. I'm not taking nobody over Charles Barkley with his. I'm looking at his whole body of work. I'm not
What
just
about
looking
Alvin
at.
Hayes?
Huh?
Alvin Hayes.
I'm saying I wouldn't take nobody that mean Elvin Hayes, Byron Hayes,
Gabby Hayes.
It don't matter. Listen, the reason I say that because Charles Barkley was 6'4". All them other guys was 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and Charles Barkley hung with the best of them. It's nothing none of them guys could do that Charles couldn't do, but there's more stuff Charles could do that they can do. You never seen Elvin Hayes snatch a rebound and dribble a leap on the floor and tear the rim down on a 7-footer. You didn't see them guys perform like that.
I give you that, Bruce.
Bad dude.
Hey,
listen, they was great now. Even Karl Malone. Even Karl Malone, he held his own.
Hey, let me ask Anthony a question now. But you can tell by this picture, he would be more happier with a trophy, can't you? Can't you, Anthony?
Sure, he would.
Oh, sure.
It's a no-brainer.
I'll be, to be honest, I'm sure if you cornered Charles, he would have loved to have won it. I mean, he hung out.
Sure.
Basically, after his time in Phoenix, he basically went to Houston to try to get that title. As much as people, want to forget, I think he's a top 15 guy. Without it, I understand why winning a title puts you in the conversation a little bit higher, but there are exceptions. I'll use two football exceptions. Is Barry Sanders' career that much less because he didn't get to a Super Bowl? Dare I say it, is O.J. Simpson's career lesser because he didn't get to a Super Bowl? And it's they were when you're a guy that basically is a game changer and really set a high bar when you played. Yeah, it would help his way. it definitely helps. You get looked at differently if you win a championship, but I'm not gonna knock you down too much if you don't. I mean, Dan Marino got the one Super Bowl, played horribly, but he's still. You can't talk about the top 5 quarterbacks of all time without having Marino in the conversation.
What about you, Larry? What do you think? What do you think about Barkley and his trophy? What he went to Houston, which
he would
means
have
he
been
wanted it
happier.
bad.
He'd been much happier. But he's either top 25 or 30, between anywhere in the top 25 to 30 range. He ain't getting no better than that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
see,
give.
when you judging players like that, I'd rather see you say not the top 30 because you got guards, centers, everybody. You got to judge him in the power forwards. Where do he land in the power forwards? You know how many great guards they were?
Well,
Shooting
that's why I
guards,
went to the
Yeah,
power forward
he's in
for
the
you,
top
Bruce.
10 as power forward. Yes, I would give you
That's why I
that.
went to the power forward. I skipped all
I
what that
give
said.
you
I went
that.
straight to the power
Mhm.
forward for you.
That's
But let me
I give
just
you
say what
that.
I gotta say, Bruce. All that you say is right. All that everybody says right, except for one thing. Don't call him champ. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah,
Don't call him champ.
we ain't calling no champ now. We ain't going that
That's all I
far.
gotta say. Everything everybody says right. Just don't call him champ.
It done. One thing we ain't gonna do, we ain't gonna make up no title for him.
We ain't going
no.
to champ, but we ain't saying champ neither.
No, he definitely ain't no champ.
Hey, you want to get one more in there, Larry, before we go?
No, we good.
We good? Anything you got to say, Bruce? You good?
No, we good.
All right, what about
We're
you,
gonna end this
Anthony?
on Charles Barkley. That's great.
I mentioned the Panthers. I'm actually going to sit down and try to watch a little bit of their game. There's a lot of stuff going on tonight. You got WNBA
Yeah.
and baseball, and we got a couple football games as well. So my clicker hand's going to be sore by the time the night's over with. I'll just leave it at that.
Let me ask you this: Did y'all watch my girl Angel Reese last night?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
She shot 100% with including two 3-pointers.
Wow.
She
Yeah,
was
that was-
9 30 points, 20 points,
20 points, 9 rebounds,
10 rebounds, 8
10 rebounds.
assists,
9 for 9
4
shooting.
steals.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great game, man.
That was after the other night. We just
That was her
saying she
comeback
wasn't
game. Yeah.
we said she wasn't a great shooter, and she comes out and hit 30 points. I guess we have to eat our words on that one, huh?
Yeah.
She was 9 for 9. She had 20 points. She was 9 for 9. For field goal attempts. That's the first time that ever been done. With all the rest of the stats with it.
I think she was trying to answer her critics last night.
Exactly.
I think she answered them real good.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see the
good
game.
comeback
Hearing
game.
this here,
Mm-hmm.
she did not play at all.
That's good. I think I know they have the break for the FIBA Women's Championship, but when the WNBA playoffs is going to be real good this year because you got a lot of good teams that could win. I got Vegas, Minnesota's in it, and even the San Francisco team. This is their second year, and they already got the second best record in the league.
Yeah, they tough, man. They got the best defense in the league too.
Oh yeah. They put some NBA teams to shame with the way they play defense.
Yeah. See, but the Indiana Fever gonna be right there too.
Yeah, well, they got the league propping them up, so yeah, they should be there.
Yeah, and they giving them four stilts on each leg.
Oh man,
They're definitely propping them up.
you can't between the crowd and the player, you can't touch them now.
All right, so our prayer warriors are gone tonight. We don't have any left except for maybe you, Anthony. You want to give us a closing?
Why not? I'll give it a shot.
All right.
Father God, we thank you for allowing us to come together tonight in all good fun, but also most importantly, we're here to honor you and honor the best in all of ourselves. There's so much more that we want to be able to do in our lives. But the most important aspect of our life is having you be there to watch over us, to watch over our family, to watch over our friends, to watch over the 4 men that are here tonight, and even watch over the men who weren't able to attend tonight. Watch over their families, and most importantly, keep us in good faith. Watch, make sure that we stray in the straight and narrow. We can stray away a lot of times, but most importantly, we want to be able to honor you in anything and everything we do. In the mighty, matchless name of Jesus, we pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
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 Amen. Nice
Guys,
closing. Nice closing. We appreciate that.
all right, guys, we'll see you all on Tuesday.
All
Okay,
right.
God
Great
bless.
show. Great show,
Great
fellas.
night.
All right.
Have a great night.
Great
Now.
show.
Let's go.